morning, people, and welcome to the Gooner Talks and to the match reaction from yesterday's match against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. First of all, a lot of changes to the starting 11. We had Kidd starting up front, Anus. I wasn't sure who he was at first. I didn't recognize the name, but I recognized his face as soon as I saw him lining up. And then, of course, Max Dowman, 15-year-old, got the start. Eze was really the only one who kept his place from the last game. I kind of expected that, and Arteta made a brave choice in changing so many first-teamers and completely changing the whole back line. And Capier gets his first full start. Mosquera played. We'll get into his performance a little bit later. But yeah, the first half kicks off, and it was hard going, to be fair. Brighton are a solid team, and they had quite a lot of their first-teamers playing. I think they changed about half their team, so overall they were pretty strong. And it was hard for us to get going. Brighton really pushed us back. For the first time, a team was actually getting behind our defence. That's probably because, hey, it's the first time they've all played together, really. Probably they've done a bit of training, but in terms of starting a league game together or League Cup game, whatever, they haven't done that, really. And defence is one of those positions where you want people to be playing, you want people to have a rhythm so that they're used to working with each other and they can manage the situations a little bit better. So that was always going to be a difficult thing when I thought about Arteta making that full change of the defence. And yeah, it took them a while to get settled and started. Brighton were on the front foot. They got in behind a couple of times, couple of big chances. Kepa made a fantastic save, closing down the angle and making sure he made himself big, making it hard for the guy to get a real clear shot on goal, and so managed to preserve our clean sheet like that. And that's how it kind of went for the first half. We were trying to get a foothold in the game. The team was trying to settle. Skelly had a few misplaced passes that put us a little bit under pressure. So did Norgard. I thought he would be kind of the leader in this young team, and he was a little bit rusty, shall we say. He hasn't played much since he's moved to Arsenal for a few reasons. He was injured for a bit, and then also, hey, how are you going to displace Zubimendi in the Premier League? But it took him a while to get going, really. Mosquera, completely different story. He was on it. Anytime, and it happened a few times, anytime they got behind or they got through the midfield and were really going at the defence, Mosquera was there to stretch one of those long legs out. It reminds me of like Diaby or Patrick Vieira or something like that, the way he just out of nowhere hooks his foot round and gets the ball or gets a tackle in. So really good performance from him. And that's how it kind of went for the first half. We were trying to get ourselves into the game. Brighton were quite dominant. And to be fair, they should have scored. They should have scored at least one of those chances that they had if they really wanted to take something out of the game, because not many teams have been getting in behind Arsenal, really. And if you're going to get in behind, take your chances, because they're not going to be there, all game. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, if we do make some changes in the second half, because we had a strong bench, everybody in the bench is like a full first-team player, and I knew we would have something to change in order to change the momentum of the game. And so, yeah, halftime comes, and I don't doubt that Arteta rollocked them a little bit, because they just weren't at it, really. Passes being misplaced and just silly, wrong decisions being made, putting the team under unnecessary pressure. And so I'm sure Arteta would have, iterated that to the players. And they came out in the second half way more focused, and the passes were moving together a bit better. Eze shifted a little bit more to the left, and that gave us a little bit more control and a little bit more impetus to try and put them under pressure, give them something to think about. And he started linking up a little bit better with Nwaneri, who started to grow into the game. It was hard for him in the first half, but he started to link up better with Eze. They started to drive more at the defense and started to create a little bit of dominance and started to get some chances, actually. Nwaneri actually had a bit of a sighter after a good move by Eze down the left, and Nwaneri with his left foot trying to sneak it into the far post, but not quite having his radar on target. And the dominance, or the attempt to assert dominance, continued from Arsenal. The players started knitting things together. Merino started to grow into the game. You know, he was the captain on the night, and so he's one of those players that I think really loves taking responsibility for the team, especially for the young players in the team, and he started to really get involved. In fact, he was key to the opening goal, you know, nice driving run, and then the ball gets played, nice driving run by Eze, ball gets played to Merino, who backheels it through, great vision, great technique. Skelly had continued his run and cuts it back for his mate Waneri, who does what he tried to do a few minutes ago and gets it into the far corner of the goal. 1-0, fantastic goal, real great team goal. How's that for open play goal, people? No set piece FC on that one. And Merino looked like a proud dad with the two boys. It's like he knew the goal he wanted when he backheeled that thing, and the boys executed well. So that was wonderful to see the Hale End guys linking up. You know, those guys are friends, and they've been friends for a long time and gone through a lot of the same challenges and the same journey really to get into the Arsenal first 11. So really great to see them performing together to a high level. Then changes were made. I think Arteta wanted to really make sure the game was put to bed, and you know, Dauman, who had a great game, really, he was driving at the Brighton defence, causing them loads of problems. Nobody wants to get done by a 15-year-old, so there were a couple of, you know, rough tackles or a bit of rough treatment on Dauman to kind of let him know that he's playing among the big guys, but he didn't look out of place. That guy, his control is insane, and the way he glides through players and has real determination of what he wants to do. He knows where he's going with the ball when he gets it, and he's going to try and go there, and it's on the rest of the opposition to try and stop him. And he almost got a penalty. He's got a bit of a reputation, not in a bad way, but a bit of a reputation for being difficult, you know, in the box. And if you don't make that tackle correctly, you're gonna give away a penalty against him. And he almost won one yesterday. But changes were made. You know, Arteta looking to kind of put this game to bed. So Saka comes on, Timber comes on, Gabriel comes on, Big Gabby. You know, you can just imagine as the Brighton team looking at that bench and seeing who's coming off, who's warming up, and getting ready to come on the pitch. And, you know, you're going to be a little bit deflated and when you see Saka and Gabriel for sure. And so it proved with the changes making a difference. Timber, wow, that guy, best right back in the league, let's be fair. And his driving run all the way from right back, all the way through, just kept going, releases the ball perfectly for Anus, who gets a shot off, good save by the keeper, but who's there? Bukayo Saka, my guy, always ready to pounce, and he has become, I mean, he's always been a lethal finisher, but now you can see, once he gets a sniff, bang, it's going in. He doesn't miss many, and he's not going to waste a chance like that. And so 2-0, you know, really game's over. I'd said, as soon as the guys came on, I'd said to my mates, oi, Brighton had their chance, and they missed their chances. They should have got it done then, and, you know, there we go. The big boys come on and put it to bed. Really, really solid professional performance from Arsenal, you know, especially when you look at a couple of other results that happened. Liverpool out, that's nice. Spurs, see you later. So there's a real opportunity to win this League Cup. I had said it's not the biggest prize that we're after, but yeah, I want to win it. I mean, winning a league or a trophy in the middle of the season, that's a great way to push you on further. And many teams have won the League Cup and then gone on to win the league. So it really can help in that respect. So yeah, bring it on. Next round, we've got Palace, actually. The draw was made right after the games yesterday. So that's going to be another interesting game. You know, we know all about Palace. We just beat them on the weekend. They beat Liverpool. They've got their number. Everyone's got a bogey team. I think we've managed to get rid of most of ours. But, you know, Palace seem to be Liverpool's bogey team. So hopefully they won't be ours. And we're playing at home. So that will be really good. A really good tie, I think. It's going to be around December 16th, 17th. It's around my birthday time. So hopefully we get a match on my birthday. That would be nice, you know. Get a win. That's the only present I would need. But before that, you know, we've got to turn our attentions to Saturday. Big game. Burnley It's the 3 o'clock kickoff, 4 o'clock here in Spain. So I'll definitely be watching. Going to try and do watch along for that one. It's going to be my first one. I'm figuring out how to do this. So, hey, be there. We're going to catch some jokes and, you know, crack open a beer and watch the game and hopefully have a good Saturday. It's the 3 o'clock game, so there's a couple of bigger games on after, so hopefully we can get the win and then I can relax and enjoy the rest of the evening's football. And match preview will come closer to that, and I'm going to start trying to do daily roundups of Arsenal news and key things that have gone on, maybe look at what the media are saying and things like that. But, you know, Arsenal focus, especially this season, I'm not so bothered about other teams. I never really am. You know, I'll watch the big boys when they're playing each other, the other big boys. But apart from that, it's all focus on Arsenal. We got a lot that we're going for. 4 trophies we're in, technically. FA Cup hasn't started yet. But, you know, we're going for everything that we're in for. And long may it continue. So, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have a good day, people. Take care. Bye.